All right, friends, Coach Mike here in the Coach's Corner with reason 4 that out of the 10 reasons that most actors don't book work. Again, according to the Screen Actors Guild slash AFTRA, only 7% of its members actually make a living through acting gigs, acting work, bookings. Now, I've even heard 3%. I've heard 5%. So somewhere in the midst of 7% of actors, right? Those are the ones that make a living through booking gigs. And those percentages should go way, way higher. Let me see if I can help. Number 4. What's the reason, number 4, that out of the 10 that most actors don't book work? Real simple. Poor thought life, cynicism, right? Like the average person has an unhealthy vocabulary. Now, maybe not you guys. Maybe you're not average. I don't know, right? But the way they see things, the vocabulary that they use, the vernacular that they use to explain life situations, their life situations back to them, their model of the world back to them is poor. You'll notice in our vocabulary, and I'm going to give you some numbers on these in another lesson, right? That we have more negative words to describe our emotions in our vocabulary, in the English language, right, than we do positive ones. You know, we grew up hearing no and stop, and of course, those were protector words for us. Our parents were trying to protect us. No, put that down. Stop, stop. Don't do that. Get away from that. Come over here, right? And so you just kind of grow up with don't, stop, put that down, get away from that, leave that alone, right? And sprinkled in between those are some kind, loving words that make us feel secure in our world, if that was your experience. So we grow up with this vocabulary. We listen to some of the music. We watch television and radio. We hang out with our friends. And some of us just gravitate towards cynical people, cynical neighbors, cynical relatives, cynical brothers and sisters, right? And so we end up just kind of letting their vocabulary tack on to ours. We kind of adopt how other people see things and what other people say, right? Gossip. Those are easy things. It doesn't take much effort, right, to pick up the negative language, but it takes effort to adopt the positive language. So you end up having like just simply a poor thought life, right? Let me give you an example. Negative Yelp reviews. Businesses hate them. I don't like them either. And I don't care for Yelp. I don't. They play some little games with their service. I'll get into that in another lesson. But I don't really care for them. I get numerous phone calls from them trying to get me to advertise, right? And I don't like it. Now, I have actors that come to me and they're just dishonest. I offer a 4-week payment plan, right? I'm very kind and generous. I allow actors to break up the $210 cost of my program, right, into easy installment payments, right? And I have some actors that come here and take advantage of it. They won't pay. They leave the class late, leave early. Look on my website. Go to heyimsorrycommercial.com. Click on Agent Resources. And then you're going to see delinquent actors. You're going to see just a small slither of the actors that come and play games with my company. And I'm telling you this because I want to reveal all of me to you. I want you to know who I am. Why? Freedom. See, I'm free to do it. See, when people go to Yelp and read the negative reviews, and there's tons of positive ones there, but let me just stick with the negative stuff first. See, it used to bother me. I just didn't get it. It's like, why do these people come play this game with me and say I'm wrong and I took from them and all of that, and they never tell the whole story. They never say, oh yeah, he had a credit card on file and he ran it. Why? Because I came to his class late, so I knew he wouldn't be able to stop his class and collect my payment. But then I snuck out and left early. So right in the middle of the exercise when he had someone on camera, I snuck out and left early. I made it look like I was going to the bathroom, right? And I just never went back in the studio, right? And then he went home, saw a credit card he had on file, and he ran it. That's not theft. You don't go to Yelp and try to smear my name because of that, right? You came to class and stole a payment from me. Now, when I'd see the negative reviews, I would say, wow, man, I'd be all mad. Man, these liars are coming to me. Why are they trying to tear down my business? Businesses experience theft. I'm no different, right? That's one way of looking at it, right? Grocery stores. There's a place where I live near Pasadena, Vons, on Fair Oaks and Lincoln, right? They say they catch upwards And Fair Oaks and Orange Grove, they catch upwards of 20 people on average a day stealing from their store. It's just a part of it. And I had to talk to myself. I said, Mike, people are going to steal from you. And the more kind, more honest you are, some of the people are going to say, what an idiot this guy is. How can he be this kind? Why does he coddle actors? I get accused of coddling actors, right? No, I don't cuss at them. I'm kind. Very unique what I do. So I had to learn a different way to look at the negative Yelp reviews. And what was a great savior for me in thought, and not being a cynic, now I don't trust anybody that comes here now. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, right? Here's the deal. I said to myself, guess what? If the negative Yelp reviews really affect you, then why are people still taking your course, right? How come your classroom is full, your studio's full every month? Your studio's full. And you even some months have a waiting list going into the next month. Why is that? Because people read the positive reviews and they believe them. They know that everyone is not going to be liked anyway. They expect to see some negative reviews on Yelp. Because if they see all positive, they may not believe it. They're not going to say, oh, no, everybody don't like this guy. Come on, right? That was one of the ways that I had to pull out the weeds out of the mental garden of my mind, right? And pour in rich mental protein. What's rich mental protein? A healthier perspective, a different way of looking at it. Where does that come from? A different set of words and a healthy mindset to explain that situation back to myself. Actors are going to have to learn how to do the same thing. But Coach Mike, I feel so rejected. I said this in an earlier lesson. Are you a reject? No, so you could never be rejected. But Coach Mike, I didn't get the part. Well, how'd you do on the casting? Did you do a great job? Well, okay, study whatever reason you say, well, okay, study that then. What's the well? Then learn from the well. What would I do differently next time? Here's what I need to correct. Not just sit and pout because you didn't get it. Sometimes you do a brilliant job and there are things you can't control. That's why you don't book the job, right? This lack of trust also. We're so inundated here in this town in Los Angeles. We don't trust anyone. We get on elevators and we won't speak. We don't. You cut your blinker on the street to get a lane change. People cut you off. It's oftentimes it's negative unconscious vocabulary even. We don't even know what's driving us, right? So if you have a negative, unhealthy vocabulary, it needs to be corrected because it's driving what things mean to you. And meaning leads to a certain philosophy and then action, right? Attitude and then action, right? So it's meaning, attitude, action, and then you have your consequences, right? So what you got to do is you got to correct your vocabulary. You have to reframe what things mean in your mind. It helps you reframe your focus to a more healthy one. And where focus goes, energy flows. So reason number 4, poor thought life, cynicism. I can't do this lesson I teach classes on this, the confidence course for actors. But all I'm doing is just kind of tempting your mind, right? Sprinkling your mind, salting your mind with this idea. Ask yourself, wow, how do I frame things in my head out there? Right? Am I just negative? When someone so-called cuts me off on the street when I'm driving, why is it cut? Right? My there's been no incision on me personally, or there's no cut on my car. They didn't tear the metal on my car. Why would I say cut me off? I'm not off of anything, right? I'm still on. I'm on the road. I'm not even on the side of the road, but I'm not off. They didn't run me off a cliff. And then when I say cut me off, why do I say me? Do they know me? Then they say, oh gosh, that's Mike Pointer. Let me cut in front of him. No, it's just they changed lanes and they got a little close to my car and I don't like it. Why is it personal, Mike? I have to deal with this traffic stuff like every other Angelino does too. And I had to start asking myself. It was one of my biggest pet peeves, how people drive in LA. I love LA. Been out here for, almost 38 years now, right? I love LA. It's great. It's the second home for me, big second home. But the traffic would drive me nuts. And I had to find, even myself, I got to abide by these rules too. I have to find a healthier way. And I have a great mental vocabulary. But there's still some growth that's needed. And I had to find a healthier way to look at even the traffic. The way people stare. Sometimes they don't mean any harm. People come to my studio and they be just looking at me. Right? And there's this phenomenon called the resting itch bay face, right? I don't want to say the cuss word, but the resting itch bay face. You heard about it in another one of my lessons, right? And it's like, so it's easy to, address a group of people. The some are just staring at you like this. You don't know. And I'd be thinking, it used to think in my mind, why are they looking at me like that, right? And they'd be the main people that are my cheerleaders when it's all said and done. Those are the main people that come up and say, yay, this is so great. It's just when they rest in their chair, right, they do this. It's a phenomenon. It's called resting itch bay face. I don't want to cuss. I call it your seat face profile. That's what I call it. Your seat face profile. That sounds cleaner, right? But I went on the internet and I was studying it. Folks, listen, gather a healthy vocabulary. I call them power words, right? Words to use to describe certain situations to myself, right? I have like lists and sheets of them. It's just great. I give them to my clients in my confidence course. What you gotta do, folks, is understand what's driving you is what things mean. And what things mean are based on the vocabulary you use to describe those things to yourself. Where focus goes, energy flows. Reason number 4, poor thought life, cynicism. You've never seen a statue of a cynic, right? So let's get to work on the way you think by reconstructing a better, a healthier vocabulary. All right, Coach Mike here in the Coach's Corner. Lesson number 5 coming up. Thanks for watching.